Baldwin was never popular. And people say, how can that be? He was a bestseller. Everybody, no, not at all. Read Soul on Ice with Elvis Cleaver. Trashing Baldwin. Read Julian Mayfield's essays on Baldwin. Julian Mayfield was an anti-colonial, anti-imperialist leftist. Right? Trashing Baldwin. The only people who actually fell in love with Baldwin early on were liberal whites, disproportionately liberal Jews who facilitated his career at that moment. But what did Baldwin do? He broke from the establishment. He broke from his liberal friends. He broke from his Jewish friends.
I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their unions. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks they give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
This is in many ways the Baldwin moment. And it's primarily because we know here's somebody who's committed to intellectual integrity, committed to a moral honesty. You remember he says at the end of Notes of a Native Son in the introduction, all I ever want to be is an honest man and who, like Hemingway, endures in my work. Now, you see, in an age of mendacity and criminality, which is our own, just telling the truth and having integrity is revolutionary. It's subversive. It's countercultural. So Baldwin comes back bringing this rich tradition of eloquence, truth-telling, witness-bearing, soul-stirring writing.
Everything now, we must assume, is in our hands. We have no right to assume otherwise. If we, and now I mean the relatively conscious whites and the relatively conscious blacks, if we do not falter in our duty now, we may be able, handful that we are, to end the racial nightmare and change the history of the world. If we do not dare everything. The fulfillment of that prophecy, recreated from the Bible in songs by former slaves, is upon us. God gave Noah the rainbow sign. No more water, fire next time.
Fire next time.
But Trump is the fire this time. It's come. It's here. Neo-fascism is unfolding before our very eyes, undermining sources of opposition, be it press, be it courts, be it university, feeling as if it's inevitable that you have to move in a right-wing populist, a xenophobic nationalist, a neo-fascist direction. That's the fire this time.
Cornel West, you live among your students and listen very, very carefully. What are they hearing in James Baldwin today?
They're hearing someone who refused to allow his fire to be dampened by overwhelming bleakness and darkness. And that's a beautiful thing. You know, and I know, the only American citizens who could vote were under 30. My dear brother Bernie Sanders would be in the White House rather than the neo-fascist Trump. That's a sign of hope. It's a sign of deep hope.
I think I'm really beginning to be obsessed with the future of the young, because we, the elders, are responsible for that. And I myself, I think, I learn a lot from young people, because young people are unlike people my age. In the generality, I was on the road, really, to find out if it was true what people were telling me, that the youth of America had become hopelessly apathetic and middle-aged and dead. There are a great many things in the people I met, and I've been on the road for a year, but none of those things. The truth, I think, is that their elders have betrayed them.
And what I love about them is, because as you know, I'm highly suspicious of these discourses of hope. I think that that's too abstract. The question is not having hope. The question is being a hope. Having hope is still too detached, too spectatorial. You got to be a participant. You got to be an agent. You keep on pushing, Curtis Mayfield says. Be a force for good, Coltrane says. Mississippi, goddamn, says Nina Simone. That ain't having hope. That's being a hope. Courageously bearing witness regardless of what the circumstances is, because you're choosing to be a kind of person of integrity to the best of your ability before the worms get your body. Boom. That's it. That's blues. It's a beautiful tradition.
Keep doing it. Thank you. You mean the world to us.
Well, you mean the world to me and many others, though, Brother Chris. You've been at it for a long time. What a force for good you are, though, man. I'm telling you, and all the folk who work here with you, just keep telling truth and bearing witness, and we got to sustain this multiracial united front against this emerging neo-fascist project.